Here are the most recent deaths in the national news as reported at Legacy.com in the second week of July 2026. I'm your host, Linnea Crowther. I'm the news editor at Legacy.com, where you can read full obituaries for most of the people featured in this video and leave your own condolences on their Legacy page. Unlike some other channels, we take great care to verify that death news is real before we publish it. If you see someone here, that means we've been able to confirm the news of their passing from an authoritative source. Actor Sam Neill died July 13, 2026 in Sydney at the age of 78. He became an international star when he played paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park, and he went on to star in 2 of the blockbuster's sequels. Neill is being remembered for many movie and TV roles, including The Hunt for Red October, The Piano, Event Horizon, and Peaky Blinders. Mary Wally Funk, the oldest woman ever to fly to space, died July 8, 2026 at her home in Grapevine, Texas at the age of 87. In 2021, Funk broke astronaut John Glenn's 23-year-old record for being the oldest person in space when, at age 82, she flew aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard spacecraft. She is being remembered as a pioneer in aviation safety and as one of the Mercury 13 group, who helped pave the way for women to become astronauts. Actress Ching died July 10, 2026 of a stroke at the age of 82. She was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, playing Madame Gao in Daredevil, Iron Fist, and The Defenders. Is also being remembered for her performances in movies and TV shows like Turning Red, Fresh Off the Boat, and Only Murders in the Building. Special effects pioneer Don Iwerks died July 9, 2026 at the age of 96. He was a Disney legend who developed such technologies as 360-degree circle vision, which delighted visitors to Disney attractions like America the Beautiful and The Timekeeper. He is being remembered for founding Iwerks Entertainment, where he helped bring 3D technology to theme park attractions like Captain EO and T2 3D Battle Across Time. Iwerks was a U.S. Army veteran who served as a photographer in the Korean War. Musician Calvin Hayes died July 9, 2026 at the age of 63 after collapsing at his home in Washington. He was the drummer and keyboardist for Johnny Hates Jazz, the British band that had an international hit in 1987 with Shattered Dreams. Hayes is also being remembered for his work on UK hits like I Don't Want to Be a Hero and Turn Back the Clock. Cristina Sanz, a reality show star who appeared on all 4 seasons of Born This Way, died of sudden cardiac arrest on July 6, 2026 at the age of 36. Sanz gave viewers a glimpse into the life of adults with Down syndrome as she pursued a career, romance, and life's everyday obstacles. She is being remembered for her close-knit family and for her marriage and later breakup with her longtime boyfriend, Angel Callahan. Actress Joanna Pettet died July 7, 2026 at a hospital in Temecula, California at the age of 83. Pettet is best known for her appearance in the 1967 James Bond parody Casino Royale, as well as for roles in 70s and 80s dramas like Fantasy Island, Knots Landing, and The Fall Guy. She is also being remembered for her close brush with history. She had lunch at actress Sharon Tate's home just hours before the Manson family murders. Political cartoonist Pat Oliphant died July 13, 2026 at his home in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He died of age-related health issues at the age of 90. From the 1960s through the 2010s, his work was seen in newspapers around the U.S., skewering presidents from Nixon to Clinton to Trump and shining a light on political corruption. Oliphant is being remembered for his highly recognizable, caricature-like cartooning style. Songwriter and producer Brian Potter died June 30, 2026 at a senior residency home in Granada Hills, California. He died at the age of 87 while living with vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease. With his songwriting and production partner Dennis Lambert, he wrote songs for bands like the Four Tops, including the top 10 hits Keeper of the Castle and Ain't No Woman Like the One I've Got. Potter is being remembered for co-writing many other songs, like What You Gonna Do About It for Small Faces, It Only Takes a Minute for Tavares, and Rock and Roll Heaven for the Righteous Brothers. Actor Scott Bryce died July 12, 2026 of esophageal cancer at the age of 68. He played Craig Montgomery on As the World Turns for more than a decade. He was the first of 4 actors to portray the character. Bryce is also being remembered for his performances on shows like Popular and The Facts of Life. Actress Antoinette Bauer died April 30, 2026 at a retirement home in Los Angeles at the age of 93. Her death was announced this week. She appeared in a classic episode of Star Trek: The Original Series, playing the cat-like alien Sylvia. Bauer is also being remembered for her appearance on The Twilight Zone and for movies like Prom Night and The Evil That Men Do. Businesswoman Janice McNair died July 14, 2026 at the age of 89. She was the owner of the Houston Texans after the death of her husband, Texans founder Bob McNair. She worked alongside him as he founded the Texans, and she owned the team from 2018 to 2024. McNair is being remembered for her love for the team and for her philanthropy in the Houston community. Senator Lindsey Graham died July 11, 2026 at a hospital in Washington, D.C. He died of an aortic dissection at the age of 71. He was a congressman from South Carolina who served as a U.S. representative from 1995 to 2003, then as a U.S. senator from 2003 until his death. He is remembered as one of the most high-profile Republicans in the Senate, and for his Southern drawl and his longtime friendship with Senator John McCain. Graham was a veteran of the U.S. Air Force, South Carolina Air National Guard, and the U.S. Air Force Reserve. Actress Patricia Greene died July 9, 2026 at the age of 95. She set a Guinness World Record as the longest-serving actor on a soap opera, playing Jill Archer on the BBC Radio 4 series The Archers for 68 years, from 1957 until 2025. Greene is also being remembered for multiple roles on the TV soap opera Crossroads. Actor Peter Van Norden died July 9, 2026 in a California hospice facility at the age of 75. He played Officer Vinnie Stolman in Police Academy 2, Their First Assignment, and he had roles in other movies like The Naked Gun 2.5 and The Accused. Van Norden is also being remembered for his prolific stage career and for his performance as Ralph Brentner in the 1994 TV miniseries adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand. Actor Hal Williams died July 15, 2026 at his home in Rancho Mirage, California. He died of natural causes at the age of 91. He was one of the stars of 227, playing Lester Jenkins' husband to Marla Gibbs's character. Williams is also being remembered for playing Officer Smitty on Sanford and Son, as well as for roles in Private Benjamin, The Sinbad Show, and many more. Politician Anne Widdecombe died in July 2026 at her home in Devon, England. She was killed in an attack at the age of 78. She was a prominent member of Parliament with Britain's Conservative Party, who served as Minister of State for Employment and for Prisons. Widdecombe is also being remembered for her later media career. She competed on reality shows like Strictly Come Dancing and Celebrity Big Brother, in addition to many other TV appearances. Actor Randolph Mantooth died July 9, 2026 at a hospice facility in Ventura, California. Mantooth was one of the stars of Emergency, a 1970s TV medical drama that helped bring the then novel concepts of EMS and paramedic services into millions of American homes. As a life member of the National Association of Emergency Medical Technicians and a spokesperson for the International Association of Firefighters, he is also being remembered for his long advocacy of the emergency service personnel he portrayed. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 1 year ago this week, actor Malcolm Jamal Warner died at the age of 54. He was just a teenager when he became famous as a star of The Cosby Show, and he went on to star in shows like Malcolm and Eddie and The Resident. 1 year ago this week, singer and songwriter Ozzy Osbourne died at the age of 76. After becoming a legend of heavy metal as the lead singer of Black Sabbath and continuing with a wildly successful solo career, he appealed to a new generation as a reality TV star on The Osbournes. 1 year ago this week, wrestler Hulk Hogan died at the age of 71. He was one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling history, inspiring Hulkamania with his appearances on WrestleMania, his 6 heavyweight championships, and more. 15 years ago this week, singer and songwriter Amy Winehouse died at the age of 27. Her Grammy Award-winning career featured hits like Rehab, Back to Black, and You Know I'm No Good. Actor and comedian Robin Williams was born 75 years ago this week. He died in August 2014 at the age of 63. He won an Academy Award for Good Will Hunting, and his many other legendary performances included Good Morning Vietnam, Aladdin, Dead Poets Society, and Mrs. Doubtfire. Actress and comedian Ruth Buzzy was born 90 years ago this week. She died in May 2025 at the age of 88. She was one of the stars of Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, known for recurring characters like Gladys Ormsby and Flicker Farkle. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags across the U.S. have been lowered to honor the memory of Senator Lindsey Graham. Flags in Ohio have been lowered to honor the memory of former Hamilton County Prosecutor, Court of Common Pleas Judge, and Sheriff Simon Cy L. Lease, Jr. Flags in Iowa have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Air Force Major Brad Hovey. Flags in Tennessee have been lowered to honor the memory of state employee Kathy Sims. Flags in Wyoming have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator Catherine Sessions. Flags in Michigan have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Wildland Fire Service firefighter Emily Barker, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Louisiana have been lowered to honor the memory of Senator Larry Selders. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.